Hello and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. I do appreciate it. And this one we're going to be covering the 21st edition of April, 21st of April, 2021 of AEW Dynamite. And boy, what an episode of Dynamite it was. Probably one of the best ones of the year. And that's saying something because they've done some cracking stuff in here. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Opening matchup was between Hangman Adam Page and Ricky Starks, and this was the first time these two men have ever met in a match. And I was really looking forward to this because Ricky Starks is a guy who I have a huge amount of respect for. I think he's going to be a future champion because he's got all the tools, all the talent in the world, charisma to spare, and he's a good wrestler against technically perhaps the best all-rounder apart from Jungle Boy in AEW, Hangman Adam Page, and Hangman is one of my favourite wrestlers. This was a cracking match to open the show, and the first time these two men ever met in the ring, and they just clicked instantly. The exchanges, the hard hits, the wrestling between these two men was great, and the storytelling of Ricky Starks hurting I think his Achilles heel a bit in the match, which added to it. And of course, the hard hitting matches I've seen these two men have before, they hit it hard in this one too. And Hangman Page getting the win with a very unique submission, which worked on the Achilles heel, was something I did not expect and added arsenal, shall we say, from Hangman Page now. But before that, the match itself was just cracking. When you've got these two talents in the ring, you're going to see something good. And despite the fact it was the first time these two men have ever met, and I would never not be against these two doing it again because these two men tore the house down in a cracking opening match. Everything just worked. There was nothing wasted, and it was a very, very, very good opener. And a very unique change of pace, I would say, from Hangman Page working on the Achilles heel, like something I did not expect. So when that kind of thing happened, and it surprised you, and it's great, it worked. So definite thumbs up for both men for producing an absolutely superb opening match. This was great, great stuff. And next match we had Trent. I always do Trent with a question mark because that's how I kind of pronounce it. Versus Penta. Now, these two continuing on the feud with Penta, having a bit of a go at Trent and his scissors return. Again, these two men put on a superb, superb match. I would happily see these two wrestle each other all day because Trent is another one I think is a great all-rounder in AEW who can do everything. Penta, his intense, hard-hitting style is something I love, and it complements his brother Ray Phoenix so well as the Lucha Brothers. But this was superb stuff. I really liked the dirty tactics of Penta in this match, and Trent has not missed a step since coming back. He really hasn't, and I thought this was a cracking little match. I think this kind of thing is continuing on between Penta and Trent. I wouldn't mind to see more of it with Best Friends and Death Triangle. Of course, they've had their issues in the past. But this was really, really, really good stuff. And the psychology from Penta in this match was first rate because him using Alex Marvez as I think it's Alex Marvez. I apologize. No, it's not Alex Marvez. So bad with names sometimes. Anyway, sorry. But Penta picking up the win after the package power driver and then the distraction was, I think, the right call. But this was a really, really, really good match. And both men just very good counter attack wrestling in this, and Penta hit one of the best destroyers I've seen for quite some time on Trent. But this was a great match, and I said when you've got these two men in the ring, you're gonna get a good match, and it's good to see Penta showing more of the aggressive side I've seen him have in the past. So I really enjoyed that. So could not fault this one. Really, really enjoyed it. So thumbs up to both men. And the next match was. I'm going to say one of my matches of the night, if not my match of the night, and that's saying something because there's more to come with that. It was Hikaru Shida defending the AEW Women's Championship against Tay Conte. And I've said it before, Tay Conte is the most improved female wrestler in 2021 in the females division. And became the number one contender with definitely nothing but hard work against Hikaru Shida, who has been a fantastic champion. No questions asked. She has represented AEW in a great way. This was an absolutely fantastic match. Both women with martial arts background brought it to the table in this match. Some amazing wrestling between both women, hard-hitting offense from both women I've never seen before, and this was probably the best title match in the women's division this year in AEW, and there's been some good ones, but this was an absolutely superb match. Definitely a further advertisement to what the AEW women's division is all about, because in 2021 it has been very, very good. This was probably a prime example of what it's all about. Of course, everyone remembers Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa from their Lights Out match a few weeks ago on Dynamite, which shows what the women's division can do. Different kind of match with this one with Conte and Shida, and it was just breathtaking. I won't lie, I absolutely thought this was a matchup that deserves this kind of recognition from both two fantastic wrestlers who've had a great 2021, and you have to see it. This was an excellent match. Hikaru Shida retained the title, but Tay Conte she's had some great performances, but I think this was her best performance in AEW to date, and against a very game Hikaru Shida, who is amazing. But this was an absolutely amazing match. You have to see it. Definitely take your time to go and watch it, because both women put on some very unique things you've never seen from either one of them before. But I loved it. This was hard-hitting martial arts mixed with wrestling, great counter wrestling. Everything works. This was a cracking match. Definitely seek this one out. Definite thumbs up to both ladies producing one hell of a match. Really, really good stuff. And next match was Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall. Excuse me. Considering the feud of the Nightmare Factory and the Factory. Of course, QT Marshall is one of the hardest working people in all of AEW, behind and in front of the camera. Of course, he feels like he's been underappreciated, separated from the Nightmare Factory with Aaron Solo and Anthony Ogogo and Nick Camarato, and all three of those were accompanying him to the ringside. And the Billy Gunn had his sons in the crowd, and of course they jumped over the barrier to get part of the factory, because obviously the Gun Club are part of the Nightmare Factory. But this was actually quite a good match, and it told the right story for what the feud is building up to be. And I think somewhere down the line there will be a tag match of some kind. Everybody's involved, everybody goes at it, and hopefully produces a good match. But sneeze. I apologise. Something just went up my nose. Still there. Oh, not good. Not good. I think we're okay. Are we? Anyway. So, oh, for goodness sakes. I apologise. I am. Okay. But it was a fun match, actually. I think QT Marshall picking up the win was the right call. Oh, it's coming back. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I apologise about it. I do apologise. I'm sorry. But it was for what this match was supposed to be. It worked very well in terms of what they were trying to tell, because of the Nightmare Factory and the Factory having this feud. It's been going on, and I've enjoyed it so far, because very rarely do you see, apart from the NWO and NWO Red, do you see a faction, so a particular place, break off into separate factions, even though the Nightmare Factory is still there and the factory became their own thing. But this was a good match, and I think QT winning was the right call, because it kind of builds on the continued feud after Austin Gunn picked up a win over Aaron Solo recently. QT Marshall picking up the win here was the right call, I think. And it was a good match. I enjoyed the heated exchanges between all members of the Nightmare Factory and the Factory. It worked, and it's been added to it. And I've been enjoying it so far. It's been good stuff to watch. So good to see Billy Gunn get I know he had a singles match on AEW Dark this week, but it's good to see he get a singles match on Dynamite as well. So thumbs up for that. Then we had Christian Cage versus Powerhouse Will Hobbs. And this was Christian Cage's second match in 7 years. And after his excellent match with Frankie Kazarian a couple of weeks ago, his first match in 7 years, Christian Cage, as if you've ever seen him, you know he's one of the most underrated workers in wrestling. He can do everything, make it look good. And there's a real method to what he does in the ring, and has been for so long. And one thing I've heard some wonderful things about Christian Cage is how unselfish he is. And that was definitely an example against Powerhouse Hobbs, who represent Team Taz. Of course, I should give a little backstory before we carry on. Is that Taz invited Christian Cage to be part of Team Taz, which Christian Cage refused, and that of course led to him facing Powerhouse Will Hobbs in this match, to kind of build up what's been going on. But this was a very good match, and like him against Frankie Kazarian, Christian Cage just doesn't do anything wrong. He is one of the best workers and wrestlers going today, and Will Hobbs' power, his approach did everything, and it worked so well. The clash of power and against the cunning, shall we say, of Christian Cage worked very, very well, and the exchanges between these two was very good. And there was, as I said, a method from both men, not just Christian. In this one, it led to what was a very, very good match. And Powerhouse Will Hobbs probably his best performance today. But I think if any wrestler steps in the ring with Christian Cage, they are going to learn something because of just how good he is. Powerhouse Hobbs, his methodical approach, the way he did things worked. So did Christian Cage, and this was an entertaining match. And it's good to see Christian Cage continuing on how he's always been, just be so good at wrestling, and winning with the kill switch. Thumbs up to both men for actually producing a very good match, very enjoyable stuff. Seek out. Then we had the main event. Darby Allin defending the TNT Championship against Jungle Boy. Now, this was a bit of an unusual situation because Darby Allin put an open challenge. Sorry, not an open challenge. Sorry, he's going to be said, I'm going to be defending the title each week on TNT Dynamite because he's in TNT champion, which makes perfect sense. And apparently, AEW, I didn't find this out until Dynamite itself, that they put out I won't say a poll, but a shout out, shall we say, who do they want to see challenge Darby Allin? And apparently, everybody said to Jungle Boy, and I thought, I'm all for that. Because Jungle Boy is I think, no disrespect to anyone, the best and hardest worker in matches in wrestling for AEW, because one, he's had more matches than anybody in AEW, and two, he just makes everything work so well. Exactly the same against Darby Allin, and when you put these two in the same ring, you are going to get a superb main event, and that's exactly what we got. The more risky side of what both men could do come out in this match, and it works very, very well. And I thought this was a cracking main event, and just under Hikaru Shida versus Tay Conte's match of the night. Both men are two of the very best in AEW because of how unique they are, how they do things in the ring, and just how it works. And these two men clashed superbly. I'm not too sure if these two men have ever faced each other before, but if they have, it showed. And this was a really, really good championship match. And Darby Allin has built up the situation of like being a man who really is, will take any kind of punishment and pain and just keep on going. He's like, he's like the Terminator in a way like that. Against a very game Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy again just showed some very, very good wrestling. And in terms of his performances, this was one of his best performances today. I mean, his matchup with Dax Harwood not too long ago was an absolute barn burner of a match. This was no different. He really put on a great performance in this one. So did Darby Allin. And it was a very good back and forth match. Could have gone either way, but that's the kind of title match you love to see from Darby Allin because he could work so well with anybody. Him and Jungle Boy worked brilliantly. This was a superb title match. I really liked it, and to see Darby Allin retain was the right call, even though Jungle Boy lost nothing by losing this match because he was on fire. Darby Allin again proved why he's that good, and a cracking way to finish what was an overall fantastic episode of Dynamite. And from start to finish, it was just so much fun to watch. So, thumbs up to everybody on this week's Dynamite for producing a great show. And on that positive note, I will end the review there. Thank you so much for watching. I will see everybody next time. Better till that time. Take care.